Welcome to We Are One, You Are Two, a PlayStation and video game podcast. We're taking a break from our indie developers and our voice actors this week. It's just Matt and I at the helm. So please welcome my co-host as always, Matt Rhodes.
Heyo, how we
And
doing?
I'm hanging in there. And I'm your host as always, Rob Fanzo. This is a podcast where we do pretty much whatever we want. Started out as a PlayStation podcast, but we interview everybody and anybody. So we've got voice actors coming up. We've got some more indie developers coming up. So if you enjoy those, we have more of those coming up. We might even get some cosplayers on here. Who knows? We'll see.
Ooh,
I know we're just all over the place.
man.
Remember, if you like what you hear, you can go rate us first and foremost on iTunes. You can also find us on Google Play, Stitcher, Patreon, SoundCloud, YouTube, uh, also Anchor FM. I started putting us on there as well. That's another new free podcasting service, and so we're on there as well. Matt, we've got a great show lined up for listeners this week. We are going to talk a little bit about everything. We're going to talk a little bit about Cyberpunk 2077 since I'm obsessed with that game. We're going to talk a little bit about Sony's vagaries and their statements. And you have a beef with PS Plus. And we're also going to talk about
Oh, there's
Overwatch as
beef.
well. Yeah, there's lots of beef. The house that beef built, Arby's. Not
That's right.
sponsoring this show, though. All right. So
But
there's
please contact us, Arby's, if you would like to be a sponsor.
Yes. All right. As always, before we do anything else, I always like to talk about what we've been playing. So I'm going to let you start.
Ooh, well, I'm sure this comes as a surprise to all the listeners, but I've been playing some Rocket League. I finally got my Diamond 3 back. I'm close to losing it again, but we'll see. And then I've been playing some Trials Fusion because why not? That game is silly fun. It was the play. It is. I'm sorry, not was. It is the current, or one of the current free games on PS Plus, and it's clearly worth the free price tag. And then I've been playing some Fortnite. I blame you, Robert, for that one because you made me drink the Kool-Aid, and
I did.
now I'm annoyed that I have to keep drinking the Kool-Aid. I still haven't won one yet, man. I'm getting so angry about it.
I know. Well, you know what?
We're gonna play after this podcast, whether you want to or not.
I've gotten close, and I think there's a special skill involved there with doing it because I know I haven't either, and
I've
it's
come in
really
second
frustrating.
like twice in a row. I came in second. I was like, "Come on, what the
And
heck?"
well, there's actually some news related to that I saw today too that we'll talk about as well that came
Oh
out a
yeah,
couple of days ago.
cool.
That's not regarding Sony, something totally different. That might
Yeah,
benefit you and me in our play style.
I was doing trophy hunting for what was it? For Detroit Become Human. I've slowed down a little bit. I've gotten most of the stuff for it, but the stuff that I have left requires like a lot of work, like the books and stuff. I have to like change decisions to get different magazines to pop up. So that's kind of annoying. So I'm kind of wondering whether that's worth it or not.
Yeah, and maybe that'll segue into why I quit playing Detroit and why I moved on to playing. I jumped back into Neo, and since I jumped back into that about a week ago, I've beaten 3 bosses. I actually just beat one before we started podcasting here. Remember, I
Ooh.
told you I needed 15 minutes before we started. That was
Yeah.
why. I was in the middle of fighting the 21st. I think it's the 21st boss. I'm like, I still got 2 regions
That's
left. I
nuts.
think I fought 21 bosses. Because I looked
That's
it up
nuts.
because I was like, it was really frustrating me the other night. And basically, as long as you stay touching her right next to her, you basically have an opening the entire time. But I've been playing Neo. I blame that on E3 because the Neo 2 announcement got me excited.
You finish it before it comes out.
Yeah, I think I will. I think I'm safe there. Fortnite also with you, and yeah, we've been doing a lot of duos and that. I've rarely touched the single because I can barely survive with you. I can't imagine surviving without you.
Well, see, I think you should play solo to understand what we need to do as duos.
Oh, I know what we need to do. Get better. Um,
That's what I mean. Play solo so you get better.
Uh, Pyre is also the one that's hooked me. If you're a Super Giant Games fan, it's a little indie title. They did Bastion. They did the main character's name was Red Transistor, which I loved a lot, and so I'm really hooked on Pyre as well. It reminds me a lot of American Gladiators, with the like dunking of the ball in the pit to quench their flame. But I feel like I'm playing American Gladiators with magic. Um, I tried to play Skeletak today. Yakuza is I think and Shane is developing that right now, um, or that team I should say is developing that right now. It's a small indie game. You can download the demo. I was gonna live stream it. I was gonna do a let's play of it, and I had a lot of tech difficulties today, so I didn't get to that as well. I actually haven't been playing as much Rocket League because I just haven't. I don't know. I got too much other stuff going on. I've also been playing a visual novel on my Vita, um,
Okay.
Steins Gate, which is apparently one of the best visual novels that you can play. And so I started playing that.
You're gonna start with the best, right?
Yeah. Well, I I love it. I really do, but I was so tired the other day. I was falling asleep reading. Right, because that's what you do in a visual novel. You just literally click the thing over and over again, the button, and you're just reading the text. But I was so tired laying down playing it, I started falling asleep while I was clicking through the dialogue. So I might have to remind myself of what I was doing. So yeah, I guess a lot of different games we've been playing.
Yeah.
That's all I really got for that. We can go ahead and talk about the PS-N or the PlayStation-News. The thing is it's kind of a slow time. Summer's always slow for news, but there's a couple of things we're going to touch on. We touched on this 2 weeks ago before we had Katie Bentz on last week from Life is Strange, and I encourage you to go check that podcast out if you haven't yet. Sony, Fortnite, PS4, Nintendo, Switch crossplay, Xbox, that's all been kind of going funky for them. Microsoft and Nintendo, I don't know if you saw the advert, even made a little advert where it said play together, survive together. And they had like green and red next to each other on the screen.
Wait, what?
Did you see that little it was like a little ad that they were running online. And then on the left side, I think it was Xbox, and it was green. Like the screen was just green with some text over it. And on the right side was red. And it said something like play on the left, and then on the right it said together in red. And then it was like survive together. So it was play together, survive together. And it was Nintendo and Xbox like joining for an advert. So they were kind of taking a shot there at Sony. However, 40 million people were playing Fortnite on PS4 alone, and I think if I did the math correctly, last time I looked, it was something like 16 million on Switch, and like maybe another 14 million on Xbox. And so I don't think Sony needs to care because, they've got, between those two consoles combined, they don't have nearly as many as Sony does on their platform.
Well, see, isn't that exactly what I was saying before when we talked about this?
Yeah, you're right. And here's the thing, though. Sony, I'm kind of curious to see where they go with this. I'm going to read you a little statement that Sean Layden. I like Sean Layden a lot. He's he wears that goofy Crash Bandicoot shirt a couple years ago. He wore that on stage, and he's kind of a weird guy. But he talked to Eurogamer.net at Game Lab in Spain. This is off of Push Square. And he said that, quote, we're hearing it, talking about the backlash. Quote, we're looking at the possibilities. You can imagine that the circumstances around that affect a lot more than just one game. I'm confident we'll get a solution which will be understood and accepted by our gaming community, while at the same time supporting our business. And so the first half, end quote, the first half of that tells me that actually the reason they haven't done it is because if they're going to open it up, they want to open it up for Rocket League. They want to open it up for Fortnite. They want to open it up basically for every game.
Well, if they don't, then you have those people immediately griping about that and immediately saying, well, hey, if you can do it for Fortnite this easily, why can't I be playing this game with my Xbox buddies? Why can't I be playing this game with my Xbox buddies? I mean, like, If that's how it is, that's how it is.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Not. Right.
Um, and so that's one thing. And then on the other hand of it too, he says at the same time supporting our business tells me that they don't really necessarily want to play nice. You know what I mean?
Right. Of
Supporting our
course.
business basically means we want to make sure that the money's flow, and the only place you can play with most of your friends is on PlayStation.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
so that's the other thing I can see coming out of that, and that's the other um half of that statement. And so I'm kind of curious to see. I mean, it's not a yes and it's not a no,
Right.
right? But it's also like a hey, we didn't ignore you. You thought we did, but we didn't. Um, so we'll see what happens. Whatever.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. Uh, most of the time, I think when people buy a console, they figure out what their friends are buying anyway.
Right.
So I don't know how many people this is really going to be an issue with. Like, how many people are going, "Oh, how dare you! I can't play with John now because he has a Switch and I have a PS4."
But who really wants to play with John, anyways? I mean, I think that's really the question.
It's almost as bad as playing with Karen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one wants to play with Karen.
Uh, that was a Dane Cook for anybody that doesn't get that.
Heyo.
But yeah, so we'll see what happens. So that was the one big news article, I guess, of the week that we kind of can touch on here. The other thing, and so this is kind of bleeding over into our conversation, our talk that we always do as well. Was Cyberpunk 2077 news also came out this week, and they said that apparently it was an alpha build that they had at um E3, and that was the most polished part of the whole game, which tells me that probably even though they've got over 350 people working on it, there's probably quite a bit of time.
No end in sight.
Yeah. And so they said it's going to release on PS4, not next generation. But I bet if they give it another 2 years of working on this, they'll probably do something where it'll be like a cross-generational game where you'll see it on released for PS5 as well as PS4.
Yeah.
That's just my guess. I mean, that wouldn't be hard for them to do. I could see them doing that. I'm just super excited about the game, so we'll see what happens there. But if that's why they haven't shown any gameplay, and so they kind of finally responded to, I think, why people were like, well, why did they show it behind closed doors but not out in front? Well, it's because that was all they had to show, and they were doing that just to give people an idea of what might be possible. And you know how that is too. Company shows something and it doesn't stack up to everybody's expectations. Look at the Division, right? Everybody complained about getting a graphical downgrade,
Yeah.
and so you know they're smart. CD Projekt Red's smart. They knew not to upset anybody or push buttons in the wrong way. Let's see other news that we could just kind of discuss. Um, this kind of leads us into, we don't have a strict topic of conversation today. We're just kind of touching on a few things, but I thought this is something that maybe we could build into or talk a little bit about. Let's talk a little bit about PS Plus, because the games were just announced. By the time you're listening to this, they'll be out for download. And so the two games, and of course, if you go to our site, ur2games.com, I made sure I posted the July PS Plus games up there. I didn't post them yet for Xbox. I looked at what they were, and I'm drawing total blank on them. But anyway, it's Absolver and Heavy Rain. But
Boo.
yeah, you pointed something out to me. I was super excited. I was like, "Oh, that's awesome! I've played Heavy Rain before. Everybody should get to enjoy that." I just want to play
That
Absolver because I haven't
is
played that yet. But
for the people who didn't spend money on it.
yeah, you want to talk about that?
Oh, I want to talk about it for sure. So, for those of you who don't know, and for those of you who do know and are as angry as I am, if you got the digital deluxe edition of Detroit Become Human, you got a free copy of Heavy Rain Remastered. Well, the digital deluxe edition of said game was $70, I believe, as opposed to 60. So in essence, you basically paid an extra $10 to get the game. Sony, you just gave it away for free. What the F?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm a little peeved about that. I mean, obviously there were a couple extra things, I guess, that you got with the thing, like avatars or whatever. Whoop-de-doo. No one bought the digital deluxe edition for the avatars. They bought it for Heavy Rain.
Yeah.
So for Sony to be like, oh well, now I know Quantic Dream is not technically a first party studio, right? It's a second party studio, but they produce exclusives for Sony. Like, how did Sony not already know that that was going to be their game?
They probably did.
Yeah,
Probably. I mean, let's be
they
honest. They probably did. They did.
and they let people spend $10 more, anyways.
Yeah.
Bases.
Yeah.
I
And
want to say so many more things. However, I don't want the censor kitty to come and get me. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's just that was rough. It was. I didn't actually even think about that because I bought the regular edition of, digital edition, I should say, of, um, Detroit Become Human, and I was
Yeah.
thinking about that too. What about all the people who bought physical editions? Because the physical edition didn't come with Heavy Rain, right?
I think there may have been. I don't know if there was a deluxe edition or not. Let me consult the little Amazon Un Momento.
Yeah, I think it was only the digital deluxe edition, and so, um, while you're kind of double checking that, you know, if I went and bought the physical edition, which is probably about, I'd say probably half the people who bought Detroit Become Human, I wouldn't have gotten Heavy Rain anyway. And this also might have been one of those things, that I'll kind of play devil's advocate. Maybe they looked at the sales for Detroit Become Human, and they looked at how many people bought the deluxe edition, and they're like, well, one idiot bought it. His name was Matt. So what we'll do is we'll just, nobody else wanted it, so we'll just give it away for free next month. And that could have been it too. It's kind of hard to tell how they thought about that. But
Yeah.
since that was the only way for you to get that, right? You are talking about a huge bunch of the population that may not have done that, right?
Correct. However, if they're going to do that, why not do it the month before as an advertisement for the game? That's what doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, and I could see
If you're
that
going to do
too.
that, put it like, hey, this studio made this game. They have a new game coming out. I don't understand how that is not like the basis of every PS Plus month.
Well, let me.
I mean, because look at Trials. I mean, Trials Fusion. I never heard of Trials until E3, and then right as the E3 hits, you get Trials Fusion.
Yeah, and then they announced the new one.
Yeah.
Let me remind you though.
No
I'm gonna
reminders.
play devil's advocate for a minute
Okay.
because I want to go back to May. Because when did Heavy Rain release?
Heavy Rain
or not Heavy Rain? Geez, I'm sorry, Detroit Become Human.
Download the game on 5/22/18.
So what month is that? May?
Hmm?
You said May.
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 Yes, May.
May. Do you remember what the May PS Plus game was?
No.
Beyond Two Souls.
Oh wait, was it?
Mm-hmm.
No, that wasn't May.
Yeah, that was May, my friend. May was that and Rayman Legends, because I totally forgot to download Rayman Legends and I'm mad about it. So they did do that in anticipation of. So they actually sandwiched it nicely. In a way, they June they kind of didn't, but right they kind of almost. Of course, people would.
No, you're right. They sandwiched it nicely because you have up until May to play it, or till the game comes out. They give people a month to play it, and then they do Heavy Rain. But again, it goes back to why have it as the digital deluxe edition. I am on Amazon, and it does say, like, clicking on the deluxe edition, it does say digital only.
Yeah, and so that I don't know. Again, Sony, I don't know how far in advance they plan this out, but I would love to talk to somebody there and know, right?
Oh,
Like they wouldn't have to. I wouldn't want to know the games for the rest of the year. I just want them to say, "Look, we plan these out for like 4 months in advance,"
oh,
or that's all I want to
it
know.
would be stupid if they didn't.
So I really would love to know that.
For like 2 days before, they're like, "Oh yeah, it's this. We're gonna do this game."
Yeah, and I'm sure they have at least a month or two, but I mean, is this a 6-month thing? Is it like an 8-month thing? Is it just 2 months ahead of time? I mean, how on the ball are they over there? I really want to know that.
Yeah.
Um, and that might also, I wonder how much of that um, comes down to Quantic Dream's decision, where they were like, you know what, for the digital deluxe edition, let's go ahead and throw Heavy Rain in there. We know it'll be free in a month, but let's just go ahead and throw it in there anyway. It's a smart business thing on their end. They got you clearly. Didn't affect me either way because I've beaten Heavy Rain. I enjoyed it. I don't feel the need to go back to it.
But
It's
why
kind of like
even lump? I guess
Detroit.
why even lump it in there? I mean, because there's like, so if you look, so I'm looking at what you actually get. So it includes the full game, obviously. It includes the Heavy Rain, obviously, and then it's the collector's edition soundtrack, a dynamic theme for PS4, and then PSN avatars.
Yeah.
I mean, if you know you're gonna do it, I mean, why not? I mean, I think probably $10 is enough, anyways, for that. Like, I feel like people,
Yeah, you wouldn't want to pay more than that anyway.
huh?
You wouldn't want to pay more than that anyway at this point.
Oh no, yeah, but I mean, like, I think $10 is like, even if they say they didn't include Heavy Rain at all, I think people would have been like, oh, okay, soundtrack and a theme and avatars, that's worth $10. I mean, obviously they threw it in there as more enticement, and clearly they got me, but
they did get you.
but you know what I mean, like. I mean, I do like the soundtrack. I'm not saying that I don't, because I mean, I thought the soundtrack to Detroit Become Human was pretty awesome. The way they kind of like had themes for each of the characters was very symphonic, I guess. Wait, is that right?
I'm not quite sure what you're trying to say, but I'm going to say yes.
Like symphony, like an actual symphony.
Oh
like
symphonic.
like Bach or whatever. Like their symphonies, like they have themes, and like it's or their operas that they have themes for each characters.
Yeah,
like that's a thing. That's a legit thing in music.
Yeah, that sounds right.
But yeah, no, I thought that was kind of cool. But again, I guess the point is, I feel gypped about it now, right?
Right. And I don't.
Huh?
I said, and I don't. So
right.
I understand.
Well, but that's what I mean. But like, if that's going to be the case, why have people that you're why have people that are purchasing your products feel like they've been gypped?
Right. I agree.
Like, that doesn't make sense to me. Well, that I don't know. I mean, obviously Sony clearly from their statement about crossplay don't necessarily give an F, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, they have sold almost, over 70 million consoles, and games like Fortnite already have 40 million users. So, which is surprisingly low for me. You have 80 million, or well, what is it, like 72?
What? Oh, the sales?
72 million. What's Sony at as far as how many they've sold PS4s? Is it 70?
It's 70 some million.
Yeah. So, and Fortnite is a free game. So I guess I just don't understand why there wouldn't be more active users.
Which, by the way, $84 average spending per person on Fortnite too.
Yeah, that's nuts. That boggles my mind. Because we clearly spend $0.
Yeah, I haven't spent a dime. I've been tempted, but I haven't.
I know, me too.
Yeah, so is there anything else you want to say about PS Plus?
Yeah. Screw you, PS Plus. I think that's what we can take away from this. Screw you, PS Plus.
Well, yeah, and it is that is a tough business decision. I'd be curious to see the numbers and how far in advance. I'm sure they had it in advance. I also wonder how much that's Quantic Dream saying coming to them and saying this is our package deal, and they're like, but guys, we're including that in July, and they're like, don't worry about it. We already bundled it. Who cares? We already
Right.
punched in the code for it, and so I'm sure Quantic Dream has a lot to do with that too. Um, Okay, and the other thing I guess we'll mention that we could just talk briefly about. I don't know how excited you are, because I don't even think you ever played Overwatch?
Yeah, I've played it.
Okay, um, is that Overwatch did get a new hero as well, and
Ooh.
so I don't know if you wanted to talk about that at all.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of, I think it's a clever character. It's a chubby little hamster. I mean, everyone's gonna play it because he's so cute and cuddly, but he's in this like mechanized like hamster ball that rolls around that kind of looks like one of those balls from like Star Wars,
Mhm.
like what was in the prequels. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um, so I don't know. It'd be interesting to see. I always, I don't know. I guess I'm always intrigued by the characters they come up with for Overwatch. I think they're all kind of, I don't know, a little tongue in cheek
They are,
sometimes.
and I'll be very curious to see, um, as they say in the Overwatch world, I'll be curious to see how that changes the meta, right? How that dictates or influences matches, if people use him at all, if he becomes overpowered. I'll be very curious to see kind of how that works because people are going to be using him,
Of course.
um, and he comes from the same lore, I guess, as Winston the gorilla, and so um, we'll see what happens. I'll be curious to see how that changes that. I've played a little bit Overwatch. I'm Overwatch and Rainbow Six Siege are two games that keep me to get into. And then every time I do, I'm like, well, but I've got this single player game sitting over here as well that I really want to play. Um,
Yeah.
which that's a whole nother topic too for another time. But the whole, games like that are celebrated. And I feel like we saw a lot of multiplayer games at E3 this year. But the thing that I was fascinated about that kind of ties, I guess, into this is the excitement level over stuff like this and Fortnite. I mean, look at all the games we talked about. Minus Cyberpunk today, but Fortnite, Overwatch, um, those are heavy multiplayer games. And I was thinking back at E3 today. I was listening to a podcast. I was thinking back today about um, how much multiplayer has grown and how I
Yeah.
do wonder if eventually the single player experience. I know that's a trite topic or a topic that's been really beaten down, but how much longer single player games have before you see them at the smaller level, but not necessarily from the AAA level.
Yeah.
Because I was just reading something about Anthem. Anthem has no pause menu, and supposedly, and Anthem's also meant to be played online with other people. They said you could play it by yourself if you really wanted to, which basically means it's a multiplayer game from the ground up.
Yeah.
Um, and as much as I enjoy playing games with other people, or you and I enjoy playing together, sometimes you just want that single player experience. You just want to hide away from people,
Oh
you
yeah,
know.
of course.
And the last thing you want to do is interact with them. And so I'd be
Well, I
very
mean,
curious to see
one
where
of
that
the
goes.
biggest things that I hated about Bloodborne sometime is getting invaded. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
as a person who's not really good at the game to begin with, like, when I heard that bell, I'm like, oh, here we go. You know what I mean? Like I'm about to die and I need I'm trying to get my souls back or whatever it was. You know what I mean? Like, you know,
Yeah, yeah, I know. Well, at least with that was a little bit more controllable. Um, but stuff like Anthem that requires an online connection, persistent
right.
online connection, right? Or games that
Yeah.
require persistent online connection, that makes it harder to hide from that.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
we'll pick that up another week. Let's go ahead and I know we're moving a little bit along here, and but we've got a couple other things we want to take care of. Let's go ahead and jump into, since we're talking about games. Let's jump into the blog and see what's new this
Ooh.
week. So this is See You Soon.
See you soon.
Um, this is for the games of June 26th, because we're recording this on June 28th. So these are games that came out this past week. Clements had been slacking, I guess, because of E3 the past 2 weeks. So there hadn't really been, which is fine. There hadn't really been any games. I don't think anybody wanted to release anything around E3 anyway. So let's look at some of these and talk about some. So the first one up is Atomine. Sounds like Attaboy. Atomine. A twin. Oh, I've heard of this. I think I might check this out. Twin stick procedural.
I love how you're like making fun of it. You're like, oh no, this sounds good.
Well, you know what? I remember reading about this. Twin stick procedural roguelike shooter set in a virtual world with minimalist design. And I'm all about my twin stick shooters.
Of course.
So that's awesome.
All right. The Crew 2 PS4 digital retail out $6.29 tomorrow as we're recording this on the 28th. In The Crew 2, take on the American motorsport scene as you explore and dominate the land, air, and sea of the United States in one of the most exhilarating open worlds ever created. You can actually play a demo of that right now, can't you?
I think you can, and I'll tell you, I think you can play a beta. And I'll tell you right now, I've read 3 different sites that I trust, 3 different articles on this, and every single one of them said it was boring as
Garbage.
Like they couldn't wait.
Garbage.
And that's a shame because The Crew, I mean, that was the concept of being able to race across the United States, or at least segments of it,
Yeah.
right, was appealing. And they added water vehicles and they added air vehicles this time around. But from what I've heard, it's just a drag. It's not as much fun as you'd think. Like the races are fun, but like racing around the country,
Boring.
yeah, apparently. And so that's a shame.
Yeah, that is a shame.
Esper, PSVR digital. One of the small number of citizens who have been endowed with the power to move objects. Oh, as one. I'm sorry. I'm one of them. With the power to move objects with their minds, you have been enrolled by the government to undertake a series of tests to show that you are in control of your powers. So this must be like a puzzle, like kind of like Static, where you're sitting in the room and you're moving stuff around and solving puzzles, but you're using your telekinesis to do so.
Yeah, that looks pretty cool though.
Yeah.
Eventide 3 Legacy of Legends PS4 digital out $6.29. Step into the shoes of Mary Gilbert, world-renowned botanist and guardian of fern flower, to once again explore the mythical realm of Slavic fables. Ooh, Slavic fables.
I know. I don't know how I feel about that.
Wow. That's pretty cool. Sounds cool.
I mean Slavic, but then her name's Mary Gilbert.
Yeah, well, that's true. You give her more of a Slavic name, but...
Far Cry 3 Classic Edition, which if you ordered Far Cry 5 digitally or the season pass, I think if you ordered the season pass,
yeah,
you got
because I have that.
Re-experience Far Cry 3 Classic Edition. Wow, wouldn't we just be re-experiencing Far Cry 3 with the Classic Edition? Whatever. Create your own adventure in a single-player open-world island of danger and discovery as you journey through the dark side of humanity. Now, Voss was one of my favorite villains.
Yep.
And so had I had the time, I would actually go back and play this.
Wait, you don't have time to replay Far Cry 3?
No, I don't. As you know, strangely enough, I have a backlog that already adds up to more than 40 hours worth of time. So guess not.
Well, I mean, you are a teacher and it is summer. So how about you do things like play video games?
I'm trying. I've got a honey-do list. All right.
Oh yeah, good old honeydew.
Honey-do this, honey-do that.
Yeah, of course, of course.
I've got a lot of work on the house, but anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Enough of your honeydew problems. People are like, they really hate melons. Fighting EX Layer. Ooh, PS4 digital out $6.28 today. I don't know. EX. They're both capitalized.
They are.
So I'm going to say EX Layer. I don't care. Arika's classic EX characters come together once again for another intense battle featuring the new Gauji system that redefines the basics of fighting games. Why
Oh, okay.
reinvent
So,
the wheel? You know?
yeah. I do like this, the light version. Now, what's funny about that is it's spelled light as in Light. So I'm
Yeah,
assuming that's a pun. All right.
clearly. Plus, I mean,
Grave.
look at the picture. I mean, her hair is black and white. I feel like it's a very yin and yang thing going on.
Yeah. Hmm. I'm
Ooh, this looks cool.
I know. I'm kind of excited about this one. Grave danger. Wanted, dead and alive. Dante, Malice, and Elliot have all been cast as outlaws, and it's up to you to help them clear their names. In a world that wants you both dead and alive, there's no rest for the living and or unliving.
It looks pretty cool. It looks like a little, I don't know, kind of looks like a little platformer thing.
I love this next one.
Oh, hold on. Here, click back.
I
Oh,
love this next
gosh.
one.
What is that? Hawala?
I think so.
Oh, man. Okay, it's spelled Hajwala. So it's either Highwala or Hajwala. The second one may make sense because it's giving the description. PS4 digital, the best game in the Arabian Gulf. Enjoy stunts and the drifting style called Hajwala. Customize your car the way you want and design your driver character as you like.
I like this. The best game in the Arabian Gulf, though.
It is.
It makes me think of that scene in Elf when he's like, "World's best cup of coffee. You did it. Congratulations." You know? It's just really, he doesn't realize. That's what that makes me think of for some reason.
Yeah, no, you're right. I agree.
Like, we're the best
There's a
game
lot
in the
of
Arabian Gulf. Congratulations.
yeah, there's a lot of looks like there's a lot of Arabic writing. See, that's why I think it's Hajwala.
Yeah, you might be right. I should have looked up that pronunciation beforehand.
One of the characters, I'm looking at the screenshots right now. He's got like a full like tunic on and just like a hat and shades. So if that's all you can customize him, like pick the color tunic and pick the color of his hat. I don't know if people are gonna like it.
Well, we're gonna have to check that out.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna buy it, but you know. Oh, you know what? It was funny. I'm looking on the PS Store, and they do have that Fighting X Lair as a standard version too. And so
really?
there's the Light LIGHT version. That must be like it has more downloadable content. That's why. The deluxe edition.
Deluxe.
I need to play good
Find the light version.
Oh, you know what? I've played something like this in the past. I recognize some characters.
This next game or the light one?
I'm still on Fighting X Lair. Okay.
Oh, Rob, get on with it.
Ikaruga, I probably butchered that, is a unique shooting game with white and black polarity. Switch polarity and absorb enemy bullets. Defeat 3 enemies of the same color in succession. Then what happens?
The Journey Down, Chapter 2.
Oh, Chapter 1 was the dudes on the boat, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Wait. Okay, we'll see if the description is as consistently crappy as the first one. Far below the noisy metropolis of Saint Armando, Buana follows in the footsteps of his lost father, together with Quito and Lina. In their search for the mysterious Underland, they discover a dark conspiracy shrouding the fate of Captain Keonandodo. I'm a little disappointed that he wasn't like the master of the gas station. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Captain Keonandodo, the gas station captain.
He lives under a noisy metropolis. The captain does.
Yeah.
All right. King of Fighters collection.
Ooh.
The Orochi Saga. This is a PS2 classic coming to PS4, and
it sure is.
Featuring the most extensive KOF collection ever. This compilation contains 5 complete games: KOF 94, KOF 95, KOF 96, KOF 97, and KOF 98.
What is this, like the Street Fighter thing? And they're
Yeah.
just gonna like list them all?
Jump into the original KOF story arc featuring the beginning of the series' most famous rivalry, the death feud between Kaio Kusanagi and Ori Yagami.
Why not just put 94, 95, 96, 97, 98?
Why not
Why
just
the
put
heck put
94 through
KOF?
98?
Huh?
Why does not put KOF 94 through 98?
I don't know. I don't get it. All right. Is this Lumens? Is that how it's pronounced?
Yeah, heck yeah, Lumens.
Yeah, this is I remember this thing. I remember it being popular. Yeah, Lumens Remastered. PS4 Digital. Lumens Remastered brings minimalism to the puzzle genre, where the fusion of light and sound sets the stage for a 2-color falling block experience in HD and 4K.
Cool.
Sweet.
Next up, Hero out 6/28 today. Fight, die, win, and probably die some more. Next up, Hero is a dungeon crawler featuring hand-drawn heroes that hack, slash, bongo drum, boomerang, and jet their way through ventures.
Cool. The Night Journey. PS4 Digital. Explore a vast, mysterious landscape on a spiritual journey. Immerse yourself in the visual artwork of internationally acclaimed media artist, Bill Viola, and the interactive designs of the award-winning team at the USC Game Innovation Lab. Ooh.
That sounds like a VR game, but
It's not.
I know.
It's a PS4 Digital. Pay attention, Robert.
Sound the sirens, Dave. Sound the sirens. Woo woo. Psychedelica of the Ashen Hawk, a Vita game. We got a Vita game. Digital retail out 6/29. That's tomorrow. In a town ruled by opposing clans and overshadowed by superstition and legend, a child is born with the dreaded mark of a witch. She conceals her identity until the theft of a mysterious relic brings to light a series of staggering revelations.
Ooh. Rainbow Skies, PS4, PS3, PS Vita, digital cross-buy. Ooh, 2 Vita games, sound the alarm. Rainbow Skies is a fantasy RPG with turn-based battles and a humorous story. Immerse yourself in a colorful and vibrant world filled to the brim with friends and foes, murky dungeons, turn-based battles, towns, shops, and everything else your role-playing heart desires. Because if you didn't hear us the first time, it's turn-based battles. Why did they announce that twice?
Well, I just said, no, it says once.
With turn-based battles and a humorous story, and then murky dungeons, turn-based battles, towns, shops.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Literally the exact same phrase twice in those 2 sentences.
They just wanted you to remind you of how amazing it is to have turn-based battles.
Well, color me turned off.
I know you don't like those things. Realms of Arcania, Star Trail, PS4 and just PS4 digital. Star Trail is a faithful remake of Realms of Arcania's classic sequel. This hardcore RPG features dozens of talents and spells, distinct races and character classes, as well as challenging isometric turn-based combat systems.
Ooh, there it is again.
I like that there's Arcania's classic sequel because they butchered
that double S is.
Yeah. Oh, this next one I'm so excited for.
This I don't even know. I'm sorry. Dave, edit it out if you have to. But I was giggling while you're reading the first one because I like read ahead a little bit and I was like, "What is this game?"
I cannot wait for this one.
Salaryman Escape VR, PSVR Digital. Salaryman Escape is an edgy, satirical VR physics puzzle game where the player must use skill and tact to help a disgruntled salaryman escape his life.
I love it.
What? That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. He hates being a salary man, so help him get out of his life. Oh man, that is pretty amazing right there.
This next one, I want to see if I can get this. It comes out. I want to see if I can get the developer on for this. So if he's listening, or somebody's listening that knows him that's listening, or somebody knows him that's listening that's might know
Well, you
him.
better pronounce it properly, or else he won't come on
Slime
the show.
Son. Slime Sand, Slime Son, Super Slime Edition. Well, it could go either way. It includes all 3 major campaigns as well as some brand new exclusive levels and features. Happy sliming. It just looks cool. Devolver Digital's putting that one out.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Good old Devolver.
I know. I can't wait to play My Friend Pedro.
Oh yeah, that looks
That's a
just
gem right there.
stupid good. Yeah. Hopefully we can get that guy on. Am I right?
Yeah.
Super Kids Racing. PS4 digital out 6/25, 3 days ago. Get ready for the ultimate racing adventure. Face 8 challenges with 100 different cars in a game that both you and the family will enjoy. How can you only... What? All right. 8 challenges? Come on. Or is there 8 challenges per car? Making it 800
I think it's
challenges.
8 challenges total. You purchase it, let me know. Tour de France 2018 out 6/28, PS4 digital. Embody the greatest champions and hit the official track of the Tour de France 2018. Enjoy all the intensity of this legendary race. Attack, follow the best trajectories, and carry out the finest racing tactics to lead your team to victory and earn the mythical yellow jersey LCL. I really like the idea of attack in there. I hope they have you can have a crowbar.
No, it's not road rage, dude.
Oh, I want Tour de France road rage.
Oh my gosh, that would be... I would buy that for sure. Like
How
Tour de
amazing would
France
that be?
Road Rage Edition. Oh my gosh, that'd be amazing.
I'd love it.
Maybe you can plant fake blood on someone, some doping blood on someone,
Mhm.
and then the
Get
cops
them.
come and get them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Take away their wins.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it.
Neil Armstrong joke. You're welcome. Or wait, Lance Armstrong. Not
Yeah,
Neil.
Neil
Awkward.
Armstrong went to the moon.
That's one small mistake for me. One giant mistake for the podcast.
All right. I believe that wraps it up.
That's it.
We end on a high note with the Tour de France.
Tour de France. Le Tour de France. Le Tour de France.
Oh, you're butchering that. All right.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks. I almost said you're welcome. I don't know why. All right, so let's see. I guess the only other thing I really wanted to wrap it up with today. We had Katie Bent on last week from Life is Strange.
Yeah, we did. That was awesome.
That was
Sorry
awesome.
again for the technical difficulties. But thanks again to Katie because she was awesome.
She was. Go listen to that. Go listen to our past developer interviews. Congratulations to Andrew. Transmogrify also got funded the other day, and so I'm super
That's awesome.
happy for that and for him. Of course, we had an interview with Sense, a cyberpunk ghost story with Ben. We've had Kevin with Frozen Equinox, The Arrival. We've had
Final Equinox.
I'm sorry, did I say Frozen?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking because it's in space and it's cold. Final Equinox, The Arrival. And then we've had I've been butchering stuff all day. And then we had another Kevin actually with Relentless Rex, which also got funded as well. So go check out all those past interviews. We have more coming up as well. But I wanted to wrap it up with community shout outs. I'm pretty active on Twitter. You can always find me at WeAre1UR2 on Twitter. I had to double check to make sure that was it. Yeah, it's WeAre1UR2. I don't even know my own Twitter name. How horrible is that?
Pretty terrible.
But I've been interacting a lot with some of Katie's fans and a gentleman who goes by it's Virgil_47 on Twitter's is or you can find him at AlexKim92. But his username is actual I can't talk today. His actual username though is Oh no, it is Alex underscore Kim 92. I always see Virgil 47 and think of him that way. But anyway, he suggested 2 of his favorite Life is Strange cosplayers to me. And sent me a bunch of videos of them cosplaying as characters from Life is Strange, the 2 main characters.
That's
And
cool.
so I wanted to give them a shout out. One's name is Melanie. She's known as Me Luffy. That's me MEE underscore Luffy LUFFY on Instagram, on Twitter, on Twitch, on Facebook. She's a German cosplayer that speaks English, who's learning to play guitar and take vocal classes. And then her friend Dash, which is her username is actually at underscore D4SH underscore. They make up a duo. They call themselves Priceless Cosplay. And
cool.
so go check them out on Twitter, on YouTube. I believe Me Luffy also streams on Twitch pretty regularly under the same name. And so go check them both out. It's kind of eerie how good their cosplay is for Life is Strange. I didn't send you their links, but they are spitting images.
Dude, I really like it when they put that much effort into it.
Yeah, it's really impressive. And so even if you just go find them on Twitter and check out some of their cosplay, right? You can see them as Max and Chloe. So
Cool.
Yeah, really cool stuff. Definitely check it out though. Definitely give them a shout out if you get a chance to meet them or interact with him as well. And certainly also Alex Kim on Twitter as well, Alex underscore Kim 92. All
Sweet.
right. He's a wrestling fan too, so he's got good taste.
He's a what? A wrestling fan?
Wrestling fan.
Oh wow, that was interesting.
So he's got good taste. All right. I think that'll take care of it for this week. That was our community shout out. I've got nothing else unless you do.
Nope. Just no, that's it.
We're back next week with our regularly scheduled interviews. Other on occasion, but we do interviews now. And so if you're a developer or if you know a developer who would love
this is who we are now.
It is. Hey, you know what? I will take it because I love the indie developers we've spoken with. I love the indie games.
It's been great.
I'm not gonna lie. I play a lot of smaller games, and so I love being able to kind of get on the ground with and talking with these guys because they make the games that we'll be playing a year from now or months from now, and people go, well, I've never heard of that till now. I wonder why. Well, stop by here. We'll tell you all about it. But certainly feel free to, if you know a developer, if you are a developer, if you're a voice actor and and you're listening to this, or you know someone, send them our way. We'd love to talk to them. So
cool.
That's all I've got, Matt.
That's it.
All right. Well, until next time, game on.
Game on. This is the outro music. Outro music for this week.
That was a nice touch there.
Yeah.
All right.
Should I buy a Nintendo Switch?
I want one so badly I can't afford it.
It would be free.
Yeah.
I could literally get it for free.